Hello everyone, I am Noya Kich. If you want to know more about Russia and you understand my English, please welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss the strikes in France. What happened here, how is it for tourists, what is the reasons of strikes, and what is the difference between the strikes in Russia and in France. Now I am a tourist in France, and what problems I have met. First problem, metro doesn't work. There are only two lines that work. It's automatical lines and it's a bit far from my district where I am now. You have wait to the taxi during 1 hour or research it on the street because all taxis are booked. And I can say to owner of French taxi system that the prices for taxi absolutely didn't increase. I was in Bordeaux and I failed with one of museums. It was closed because of the strike. Tomorrow some of kids don't go to the school. It's not problem of tourists, but I just want to describe the problem for you. So as you understand, some categories of employers are on strike. It's teachers, it's drivers of metro, it's drivers of RER, it's people who work on station, so it's people who receive their salary from the budget. What happened? Now there is a new reform of pension in France. Before that, it was 42 different categories of types of pensions. But with this new reform, all over the French people, they will have the same pension age and pension system. And for some categories of employees, these new changements are absolutely not useful. But for another employees, they are very useful. So for these workers of metro, for example, before that they had a lot of privileges. Their retirement age was 55 or 57. Amount of their salary depends of last 6 months of their job. So as you understand, it's maximum of their salary when they're adult employees. With these new changes, they lose a lot. They go to retreat on 62 or 64 later. It's the first, second, their pension will be calculated as for rest of French people during last 20 years as usually. So this new system absolutely not useful for them. This new reform includes this category of people who receive money from budget and who are younger than 1975. So people who are more adult and another categories of workers in France. This new reform don't touch them. Despite only small categories or certain professions suffered with this new reform, for now France is paralyzed. People cancel their holidays, people have to hire new nurse for their kids because kids don't go to the school. Trains are in late. The train company have to pay you money back if your train was cancelled. They pay you some commission like 20 or 30% of the ticket if your train was in late. As I say, you have to wait during 1 hour to book a taxi. So it's important for tourists because you can pass your flight, don't forget about that. But in the same time, nobody complain and nobody cry. I can imagine how it could be in Russia. So what they say about the strike on Russia TV? They say, yes, there is a strikes in France. Paris is paralyzed because people don't like one of prime ministers of Macron. They don't explain what is the problem with this prime minister. They don't explain that it's a reformation of pension system because just this summertime we accepted this new law for new retirement age. It was so small manifestation. Majority people just follow this new order. And what happened now here in France is just an example for labor unions how it's possible to fight against the system. Now the meaning of the joke, fresh French joke. 3 animals discuss future holidays. It's a dolphin, the bear and crocodile. And the dolphin say, I like to swim and my wife, she likes to swim too, and we have kids and they're small dolphins, but they like to swim already and they're successful in swimming. So I decided that for holidays we will go to the ocean. And the bear say, I have a furs, and my wife, she has a furs too, and my kids, they're small, but they have furs too. So we discussed it a bit with my wife, and we decided that for holidays we will go to Siberia. And crocodiles say, I have a big mouth and big throat, and my wife, she has big mouth too, and all my family, we have huge mouths. So we decide that for holidays we will go to France to the strike. Para-para-pam, poo. So French people, they just accept that their neighbors on the protest, it's okay, they support them, they understand them, they don't complain on them. You know that French students, if they want to go to the strike, they can pass the day, and they will not receive any punishment for this day. How it's in Russia with the labor unions. So, two examples. A few years ago, the dockers of one of the port on Far East, they went to strike. They arranged the strike because of suspendance of their salary, and in a few weeks the head of labor union was arrested. He was in trial together with the countess. They was blamed in theft, kind of they steal money that should be spent on gifts for workers for New Year's celebration. They were in the court. Even in the court, there were witnesses who give a testimony that they received all their gifts that they wanted, that they celebrated this New Year celebration, that they don't complain on their leader. Anyway, he was sentenced. He got 3 years of jail. A countess got 2 years of colony. How do you think, what kind of example is this for another heads of labor unions in Russia? Second story about taxi drivers. A few months ago, taxi drivers, one of taxi companies in Moscow, they decided to arrange the strike against the commission that application take. The application took 20% of the payment. It was too much for them, so they arranged the strike. What another taxi drivers said about that? We will not support them for sure. At that day we will go to work, because at this day we can earn extra money, because, as you understand, less cars online, more price for the taxi. I wonder how it's with labor unions in your country. Please leave a comment. If this video was interesting for you, thumbs up and subscribe on my channel.